Viktor Niemann and Hartmut Jedicke. Welcome to Stockholm and the Bonnier building. It's Wednesday, September 11, 2024, 10 o'clock in the morning. We are going to talk about this. Yeah, 10:15 to be exact. We're going to talk together about the history of the Bonnier Media book group. And the history starts in the 80s. And it's about a tremendous success, almost never heard of. So let us talk about the road to success and your personal part in the company build-up. And Viktor, you maybe start a little bit by introducing yourself.
I myself?
Yes.
To tell what happened?
Yeah, what happened to you? How did you end up in Karlsson and the story? Maybe before you ended up in the Bonnier Group.
In the Bonnier Group, yeah.
Your background.
My background is that I was in Hamburg.
Yeah.
In the day when I had my time standing in the situation that I have to make something what I wanted to want. In the beginning, I wanted to be somebody who is doing kind of, wie heißt das, wenn man ein journalist, but it was not good in Springer time. The Springer time was not my time.
Okay.
I was a little bit otherwise, and then I was gone to a great, wonderful. Es ist, wo ich war bei meinem Verlag.
Holzbrink, Rowohlt?
Nee, wie heißt es? Also in Bürgerdorf Dingsbums, da war unser Verlag. Der Verlag, in dem ich war.
Karlsson.
Nicht Karlsson, nein.
Holstein?
Nein, mein Verlag, in dem ich alles gelernt habe. Die 16 Jahre, 15,5 Jahre.
Rowohlt.
Bitte? Rowohlt.
Ja.
I was,
Buchverlag.
yeah, Buchverlag, Rowohlt. And I was there 15 years.
Okay.
And in this time, I had a wonderful time. But in the 15th and a half, I said, it's now I have to go to another one.
Now or never.
Yeah, and that was the owner of the whole was Holzbrink,
Yeah.
and Holzbrink said, we have other publics. Publishing houses, and you can go to Fischer and you can do that others. And I said, I try it. It's not my idea to go. And then I was in the Drömer, and I was there, and there was a bloody dame, bloody lady. I was. We are not.
You didn't like her. She
not
didn't
very
like you,
good.
maybe.
And I left it half a year later.
Okay.
And I went to nach Berlin, to Berlin,
Yeah.
to Holstein.
Yeah.
And that is that was my first stay, and I was very happy to be there.
Okay.
And in the beginning, and
And you worked as a publisher with contacts
yes,
with authors and
yeah,
all,
exactly. And I was not not in the beginning, but in 1 year later, I was the publisher. I don't know why, but it was.
You were clever.
They were in the situation to say, well, you are the one.
Okay.
And then I had it on a long time, until to the time when another one came, that
Maitre oder wer das?
das war
Maitre?
naja, ja, ich weiß nicht mehr, wer es war.
Ja.
It isn't that important.
Others came, and it was we had a lot of problems, and
Maybe I can go in because
yeah.
You're so welcome.
my name is Hartmut Jedicke, and I studied economics, and after I started with an error studying engineer, but after 2 semesters before I learned metal works, and after having this study, I looked for a job, and Axel Springer, the printing company of Axel Springer in Ahrensburg, close to Hamburg. They said, "Oh, this is one who knows metalwork. All this, we have a lot of people working with machines, and has studied economics. That's good. Come in." And so I started in the print plant of Axel Springer, and I was there for 4 years, and after 4 years they said, "Yeah, now it's 4 years is good for the first step, but now you should do something else. We have a really good job for you, and we have another one. Yeah, this is not, it's bad paid and it's far away and so on. The good one is in Hamburg Central." And these were the guys I hate because I have to report to. And I have and the other one, yes, this is they don't pay less, and it's far away, and this is only books. But then I said, okay, I will try, and I will have I have a visit there, and a first speech. And I did not meet Viktor. I met his financial guy, Mr. Weber,
yeah.
and he said, "Yes, start here."
Okay.
And I said, "Why? Yes, okay."
And
Because
when was this?
it was nice. This was, I think, 2 years after Viktor started at Ullstein in Berlin, and then I came also there to Ullstein, Berlin, and I was assistant of Mr. Weber, who was the financial guy of Ullstein. And Mr. Weber left the company 1 year, or half a year later,
Yeah.
and Viktor came and said, "Please, you have to do that now." So that's the beginning that we
right.
know,
Of your,
and this was
The beginning of your marriage.
Yes, I started at Ullstein at 1982,
Okay.
in October '82. Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah, this was the beginning. We know, and the first time both of us met Ulstein.
Yeah. Yeah. And the first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the same time something happened. Bonniers had bought the Carlson If Company in 1980, I think. Or yeah.
Yeah, this was a completely independent from us.
I know,
because Carlson
it will be important for you a little later. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Bonnier bought Carlson If in 1980,
Yeah.
and that will be of great importance for you and for Bonniers. You will meet that, but
Yeah.
we can come back to that.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this. Yeah, let's talk about it. It's we always a lot of us were asked, how is the history of Bonnier in Germany, and we always said it's. Bonnier did not buy the German Carlsen Verlag. They buy the Danish one.
Yeah.
They bought the Danish one, and we are not sure that they saw that there's a very small German. Maybe they find it later. Oh, there is a German subsidiary.
Okay, what shall we do? What shall we do?
We are not sure about that, and so
I think we're pretty close there.
Yeah, and this 1980 they bought this Danish one and this really small German, and the interesting part for me is that I grew up in Rheinbeek, very close to Hamburg, and I went to school there, and the Carlsen Verlag is in Rheinbeek. This was also in the same little suburb of Hamburg. And you can see the building. It was a
big warehouse.
Yeah, not big warehouse. It looks like you can put everything in. Like if you make water and gas, whatever, and you have in front, you have a small office, and behind there is a big hall. So and this was Carlsen Verlag.
Difficult in the winter. It was too much snow.
So very cold.
Yeah, and
and maybe you should tell us a little about what is Carlson If. What kind of company was it? I mean, the Danish one and the German.
Yeah, what I read in the history is.
But just for the record, what did they do and etc.
That Carlsen, the Carlsen company was a company who sells press illustrations.
Kind of agency selling pictures.
Like an agency, and especially in the Nordic countries, but also to Russia, Germany, and others. And they made some really interesting things. This Petsy bear, and this was really successful in different countries.
And the Pixies.
The Pixies was for books. It was a bit later. It starts, I think, with the Pixies, that they sold out this small things, and then they said yes to sell it as a license to newspapers. Maybe this is not enough, and they had the idea to start an own company, printing these and selling this. Directly as a physical book or something like this. And this was the foundation of Carlsen IF, Illustrationsforlaget, in Denmark, in Copenhagen. And a year later, they started the German subsidiary with Carlsen Verlag GmbH in Rheinbeek.
In Rheinbeek, yes.
And in that time, as they started it, then the publisher of Carlsen, Per Hjalmar Carlsen or Per Carlsen, No, Per Carlsen. Per Carlsen. It was founded by Hjalmar Carlsen, and the son,
father. Yes.
The son is Per Carlsen, and
Per
Per
Carlsen,
Carlsen started this German subsidiary, and
there were others here and already also in
Norway, maybe.
many others. It
In the
was
Scandinavian
also
countries.
excuse me.
In the Scandinavian countries, I think.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
in the
well.
Nordic, but not only
In,
there.
in Norway and auch
In Iceland and in Portugal and so on.
Yeah.
Portugal
And
is
al-
not
in
Nordic.
in Netherlands. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Germany.
And this was at that time when the Petsies came first in Denmark.
And I think you have to explain what Petsies was. It was a serial strip, or what was it, Petsy?
Petsy started, Petsy and his friends. I think, who does not know what this is? Everybody in my generation and Viktor's generation knows Petsy. Petsy and his friends. And you have to Google that and you can see. And this was very short stories, also longer stories, with this bear and his friends,
Yes.
Penguin and so on. They sold, in the beginning, they sold, I think, very short stories for the newspapers.
Strips,
Only one stripe
Yeah,
on the newspaper, and later they make longer stories and make books of it. Thin books, not big ones, and it started in Denmark, and then they rolled it out to different countries. And in Germany, they started also with Petsy, and in that year when they started, they had an idea of Petsy. Petsy was American. Pixie books. Pixie was American. Pixie books, and they said this American way making Pixie books. We have another idea to make it in a different way, and this start of Pixie books. This came in Germany. It came together. They started with the first Petsy and the first Pixie at the same year. It was 1981, I think, and this was the start of the German Carlsen Verlag, and especially these two characters, the Petsy and the Pixie. They were really successful, and were. It worked in a lot of countries. I found a list of 10 or something countries, Iceland, and so.
Why not?
Why not?
Some do it very long. Some started late and stopped it early.
Okay.
This was completely different. But between Denmark, Germany, and Sweden, this was, I think, this were the best countries to sell it.
Okay.
And the headquarters was in Copenhagen,
Yeah.
and they organized the printing of that. The Germans say how much they want, and please send us the German text. The same for the Swedish and the Danes organized printing, and that it's delivered in the right.
You just change the text.
Yeah. This was for a time,
Yeah.
and then it gets more and more developed. Yes.
Developed, and I think it was the start of the, wie heißen sie noch?
Comic. Yeah.
Comics, the comics, and that was a start.
Okay.
And wie heißt es noch? The big,
Tintin.
Tintin, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Yeah, it's-
started the Tintin series.
it's Tintin is the German. What is it?
Tim and Struppi.
Tim und Struppi. Yeah. That
Yeah.
and this is it came from wie heißt es aus
From France.
nicht von France,
Belgium.
from Belgium.
Belgium.
It was the Belgium, and they had the this kind of something what is very interesting for young people.
Oh.
Yeah, that, and it was a good idea to make, and that was the development.
And as you know, in Sweden, Bonniers had also a division very similar to this one called Semic Press,
Yeah,
where Carl-Johan Bonnier was the CEO. And I think that was the main reason for trying to make an acquisition of Carlsen.
Yeah.
You can see big synergies between Semic.
Mhm.
So I don't think that anyone in particular thought of Germany in that
No.
by that time.
yeah,
But it's a very good description, Hartmut, of what
Yeah.
Carlsen was. And you were both sitting at Ullstein by that time and
Yes, it's
making books.
making books really successful. Ullstein was Ullstein. Only the last, I think, 15 years, Ullstein has a really normal develment. The 40 years before, Ullstein was going up and going down, always.
Yeah.
Depending on what books you had, maybe.
Yeah, not only the books, especially the publishers.
Okay.
publisher was
And before Viktor, there was a time where Jobst Siedler had this company.
Yeah.
He spent a lot of money in arts,
Okay.
and as I was there was really big stocks of arts.
Okay.
Nobody wants to have millions in stocks.
Okay.
And yeah, this was really complicated.
It was-
But the
I remember when I
most complicated thing was the publisher's chair. This was a really hot chair.
Okay.
Because Axel Springer and the Ullstein group, this was a daily newspaper group, and this was a magazine group, and the books was only so small,
Okay.
and nobody cares about these books.
No.
Until some journalists came and said, "Oh, what's it doing Ullstein here?" And then immediately the telephone at the publisher rings. What are you doing there? So
yeah.
this
Quick.
Yeah. In the later time, they asked, they wanted to send the next program we make. They wanted to see what for books we are doing
Okay.
and
to control it.
control it.
Suddenly,
And that,
suddenly you had the spotlight.
I go immediately out of the house. Yeah, I have never done it.
No.
I have never done it, but it was the later time.
Yeah, and yeah, it's to bring Ullstein back into the market and maybe back to Black Figures was not really easy, and it
I can hear that.
Yeah.
it took time, and as I started at Ullstein, it was more or less zero, and in the years after that, it's going up more, but we can't say we have big profits in the balance. because this arts stock has to be written down, and to do this in one big thing, we doesn't want to do this to show everybody.
I can understand that.
So we did it
5 years.
yeah, like that. And then during that time, Axel Springer said, I think we need someone to control Ullstein better in a way, maybe a conservative guy, and not this left-wing publishers here. And they made a deal with Herbert Fleißner, who was owner of the Langenmüller-Herbig-Gruppe in Munich. And they said, okay, you bring in Langenmüller-Herbig, your publishing houses, and we bring in Ullstein, and then we have a company, Ullstein Langenmüller, and we are 50-50 shareholders. Okay. And they did it, and Viktor immediately left.
Yeah. It was, what should I can do yes, I had to go.
You said, Viktor, that you had to leave Ullstein, and you got a lot of offers from different companies.
Yeah.
And you were, so to say, in quarantine for 6 months, but then you could work with Ullstein.
Yeah.
And that was when you entered in Karlsruhe.
Yeah.
And why do you choose?
When do you met Karl Johan?
Karl Johan, a friend of mine, was working in Karlsruhe. Okay. And it was an old friend. We were together with where you were as well.
Hoffmann and Campe.
Hoffmann and Campe, one of the interesting publisher.
And this friend died.
The friends died, and he was at the funeral. He was going to ski and into the and he went up and he had something with his heart, and he died, and his wife was also one I know, and I was. He asked me to come to the funeral, and I met Kalle, and that was then the situation that he asked me, can you have you an interest and to come to, and so on, and yes, and so it started.
It all started with the funeral.
It was a funeral, yeah, absolutely, yeah, it was.
And you said yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Viktor started at
yeah.
at Carlsen.
At Carlsen, and it had started to go from our area in
Rheinbeek.
In Rheinbeek, out of Hamburg. So we went into the to Ottensen, with part in Hamburg,
Yeah.
and
In a very wonderful old company is building, which did what did they before? It was one of the companies who delivered to the shipbuildings.
shipbuildings.
And what did they make? The propellers.
Propellers, and they with a little mit kleine Bahn.
Yeah. There was a
little
tracks. They
Tracks.
are there.
On-
They are there. The tracks for the lorries
Down
going
to the Elbe,
Wonderful,
to the Elbe.
Sounds better than the old warehouse.
And it was something to buy. So we said, well, let's buy this part here, because it was open. It was to sell, and so it's still our.
So you bought it,
Yeah,
the factory.
you bought it, yeah, and then
there was a special tax problem behind it, that they could not sell the Rheinbeck fasting getter and buy the other one without paying taxes, and so they had to buy something. So they did it, and I saw the old pictures that in the cellar there were the washrooms, and you see 20, 30 of these wash basin, and where this are the old pictures. Now it's a wonderful publishing house, and everybody at Carson is really happy.
A lot of atmosphere, of course.
A lot of atmosphere. They built a new part on it, and now at that time Carson has maybe 40 people. Now Carson is 150 or something like that. So it's Carson grew very, very fast.
And when did you join Hartmut?
This was a bit later. We come
Okay.
back to that. And so that Carson, Viktor, this very in the beginning very small comic part. This grew very, very fast, and after not too long years, maybe 5-6 years, Carson was the absolute #1 in comics in Germany, and was the market leader. And it's now too.
Still.
Yeah.
And what did you do to make it be so successful?
One of the year. Wie heißt er noch?
Cups.
No.
Nee, nicht Cups. Nee.
Heißt, ich weiß es ist Andreas Knigge. And he is an it was an one of the best people. He had everything about what is interesting for the comics, and he was wie kann man das sagen?
An expert.
Ein Expert, was ein unglaublich guter Mann. And he was the one who made all that. And then we were one of the in a good situation, because we had all the best what we could get. Yeah.
The best content, the best stories.
But these people are not easy to lead. So we had this together at Ulstein. There was the thriller lecture. He also was one of the best ever. But as a person, he has always to bring him back.
He sent me situation. He said, "What do you doing in our wonderful krimis? It's always something with, wie heißen diese Sachen, die in die Krimis waren immer etwas reingelegt mit
Lesezeichen.
Bitte? Nee. Es war immer, man konnte etwas, es war eine, ja, wie nennt man das? Es war in der Krimi war Werbung.
Werbung, ja.
It was
Advertising.
advertising in
the crime books.
In the books. And he called me and said, this is not good. You have not to do that. I said, come to me. We can talk about it. And then what was his name?
Joachim Kompert.
Kompert, yeah. One of these others.
This was, but I only want to say, Viktor, if someone was able to bring people back in a team, then it was Viktor. But some of these people are so far away that this only works for a while.
Then they are gone forever.
Yeah.
But did you take out the advertising for the krimis?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I love it.
But you took out the advertising?
Excuse me?
You took out the advertising from the book? Or
Yeah, no, I didn't.
He bought it?
Yeah, we made it.
Only the books he got.
we made it.
You must print one copy of every book with it.
In black and white, with a lot of bunt. What's it? Bunt? Colored. Colored, yeah. he was, it was wonderful.
When I'm listening to you, I understand that you were very good on leading and appreciated creative people, even if we are hard to lead. Yeah. So that was a part of the success, of course. You made a big effort to find the good stories and the good people to work with you.
Yeah.
Hartmut, you looking to say something?
Yes, this is one thing we should discuss maybe a bit later. Let's go on with the story. Carlsen from '86 to '94, Carlsen had a really good development, and went from a very small company in a warehouse to a real publishing house in Hamburg, and was especially in comics, but also in normal children books and Pixies and so on. Carlsen was a really good, accepted, middle-class children books publishing house. And my personal way was that I was a bit longer at Ullstein. If the time when Viktor left, I stayed there for a while because the new publisher was not in Berlin, he was in Munich. And far away, and we could work with the same style. We had a really good team at Ullstein. This was also something Viktor formed there, and this is over the years. I saw it at Ullstein. The first time I saw it, especially by at Pieper, and Ullstein the second time, and so on. That people sitting around in a meeting you will never say they will fit together. They are so, the production guy is so far away from this marketing people or other creatives, but they came together and everybody was really motivated, and they loved it to work together and to bring this together and to motivate all these people around that everybody wants to give his best. And the ideas over the desk here and there, this was really, really good and not easy to reach. I know at Ullstein it was the most complicated way. So if you have this round there and I have a really new idea, and the other said, "Oh, forget it. We tried this 3 years ago. Will not work." Then you can't make such discussions, and there is no creativity in that way. So how to manage this, and this works really good. And then I left. Also, I left Ullstein, and I went to Hoffmann und Campe. It's a company in Hamburg, a publishing house. There I met Viktor's wife. She was working there. And I met Margit Osterwold. We come back to her at Hörbuch Hamburg. So this is so the publishing scene is
small.
Yeah, people know each other.
Yeah.
Yes, this Hoffmann and Campe, this was not really a good job for me. The style I was used to was completely different. This was dictate from the boss, was completely strange. So I left after 1.5 years, or a bit more than 1 year, and I joined a company for yeah, my English.
Say it in German.
Ja, Unternehmensberatung.
Unternehmensberatung. That means company. My German isn't fluent.
Yeah.
Maybe we come back to that if you.
Yesterday we talked about it 10 times, and then it was there. Now it's away. The English. Hopefully.
You did something else.
I did something else, consultant, is it? Yeah, consultant. I was in a consulting company as a partner and was consultant for different other companies.
Yes.
And this was the time 1990, 91.
Yeah. I ask you.
And yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, 91, I think. I started there for 3 years, 4 years. And I worked for different companies in Eastern Germany and also some publishing houses. And we never lost our contact. And Viktor asked me 1994, please can you help us? We have a logistic problem at Carlsen. Please help the Carlsen company. And I went to Carlsen, and we cared about logistics. It was hard for the people who had their own warehouse in Rheinbeek. Then they don't have their own warehouse, but it was close to. It was in Hamburg, another place. by a service company, but you can drive there and can look for your books. And it was for them, they can't understand that they can't go there and look for their books. Yes, this was, and then we had discussions from Carlsen Verlag with the two of the big companies in Germany having this logistics. And I said the Carlsen, one is in Gütersloh, is Bertelsmann, and the other one was in Stuttgart. Both far away from Hamburg, and you can't go there
and look.
And count how much they are.
How much are we selling?
Yeah. And but it was not easy people to tell that this is not necessary. They can count for you, and they can look. But if you had this for 30 years or something like that in-house, then it's hard to understand.
It's a tradition.
It's tradition. And so I was in discussion with that and internal things at Carlsen. And one day, Viktor came to me and said, "Please, if you are ready here, please come to me. We have to talk under 4 eyes." And then I went to his office, and then he told me, "I'm on the way to buy another company. I want to buy Piper Verlag in Munich. And please, can you help me? Can you prepare some figures and investment plannings and these things? You are a consultant, you know how to do this. I have to prepare some presentations for Per Olof that the Swedes will say, yes, do it."
And Per Olof is Per Olof Atle.
Yeah.
Per Olof Atle, yeah.
And
That was a good start with him.
yeah, absolutely. I did this.
Not easy, but good.
I did this, and Viktor took the papers and sent it to Sweden, and after some back and whatever, that they the purchase price, and we got parts of this purchase price back because it was not 100% what we had in the contract. The purchase price was really low to look back, but they said no. The Bonniers don't have too much money. We have more time than money. He always said, Per Olof, and we can wait. For a short time, it looks that this deal will not happen because the Bonniers wouldn't pay for it enough. But in the end, it works. They had a contract, and I think you signed this contract more or less at Christmas time, 1994.
That was your first acquisition?
Yeah.
The first acquisition after the Carlsen acquisition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you have an impressive list of acquisitions after that, but we can come back to that. So Piper Verlag became
the Piper Verlag.
Of,
I had a good information that he had problems because his son was not. He said, "I'm not sure that he can do it, what he wants," the Mr. was a very, very nice man. I had
Klaus Piper.
Klaus Piper, yeah. It was a very gentleman, and late wife who was very interested to get some money, and said, "Well, sell it, and so on and so on. And that was a good idea to come to that problem that he had, and it was a good time.
Yeah, Klaus Pieper was about 80 that time, I think.
Yeah.
And it was for him, and the son, he doesn't trust his son, and there was another publisher or Geschäftsführer from outside, and so they are three. The old one. The old one and two young ones, and it didn't work. Afterwards, we heard from people that if you want a decision, you have always, you know who to ask. If you want this decision, ask him. If you want the other decision, ask the other one. So, and that's not really good. And at that time, when the Bonnier signed this purchase contract of Pieper, Viktor asked me and said, I have to go to Munich to make this company completely new. You also have seen all the papers, investments, and all the problems. We had discussions about it, and will you join me? We want to go. I want you to go with me. We together go to Munich to Pieper.
On the street.
And yes, it was a really nice idea, because I have worked with Viktor and I know how it is to work with Viktor. And yes, I managed that with my partners, and then 1st of January we both went to Pieper in Munich.
And what happened then?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
What happened?
Oh.
Yeah.
In the beginning?
In the beginning, it was the start makes Carlotto. Carlotto was always the family member who speaks fluent German,
okay.
And he always was representing if the German speaking Bonniers was then Carlotto came,
okay.
and Carlotto represented the family, and everybody was really impressed.
Okay.
That these Mr. Bonnier personally was here. Yeah, and speaking German.
Yeah.
On the publishing side in Pieper, you started something called the White Program.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little about that?
It was the little books.
Okay.
Normally, it's if you start in a company, a publishing company, then the next program for the next 6 months is completely ready. It's sold to the bookshops, and you can change nothing. The following 6 months, the program is bought. The authors have more or less written everything, and it's in planning with the covers and everything. So you can change more or less also nothing. And then it takes a lot of time to have changes, to make changes in the company. But Viktor decided we need it very short term. We start after 3 months. In the beginning of first months, we start with a new program, and all old program we put in the shelves. Maybe we take it later, but not that time. And he looks in the backlist of Pieper.
The best ones.
The best ones, and
a new
new Pieper had covers.
Covers
not changed for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And Viktor,
a great change.
a great change.
Yeah.
And
it was really good. It had a good a good
Graphic.
graphic and
Graphic bureau.
and it was
that
really.
not only one. I
Es
think
war,
it was,
ich habe den, es war einer, der das,
yeah, but in the beginning wasn't not two or three who have different
Ja,
ways,
ja,
and in the end it was one.
es war einer dabei, der das gemacht
Ja.
hat. Ich weiß es nicht mehr, wie er heißt.
Yes,
Sorry.
but and from the book trade, the book trade is the first step you have to say to take, and the book trade says, "Oh, what is that? This is paper? I never expect this.
Yeah. It was-
This is
yeah.
new. This is modern. This is new.
Yeah.
And I know this title. Oh, that. Oh, we have this new. Everybody likes it.
Yeah,
And-
it was
and
something new.
The press,
Yeah.
the cultural press, newspapers, they looked at this. Oh, paper is back.
Yeah, it was old times. It was old books. It was
Backlist
all
books.
backlist.
New
yeah.
package.
Yeah,
New package.
new.
And what was that? What was the white box? What was the white box?
The white program means
White
that
program.
there is
Ah.
nothing new in.
Okay,
Um,
I understand.
Yeah.
and yeah, this was 10 titles every month
Yeah.
in paper pocketbook. Normally it was about 20, 17, 19, 20. And these were only 10. But the success was really great.
They sold good.
Yes,
Bestsellers.
and I think the book trade, the bookshops, they were pushed by the sales force to buy it, and they said yes, okay, these are titles I can sell anyway, maybe in a year. So okay, give it. And so with these 10 titles a month, we make the turnover of 20 or 25 like the months before. And this
That's good for the business.
it's good for the business and good for the standing outside, standing at the authors, standing at the readers, standing at the own stuff, standing in the bookshops, and standing.
Something new has happened.
Yeah.
Oh.
So overall, paper is back.
Yeah.
It was back, but I have to say, in the same moment, Hartmut had to do other things.
The bloody work.
The bloody
Fire,
but
fire.
But it was very good. It was very. I can't say how good he made it. But it had so many things to change. It was not very good in the situation, but he did everything wonderful.
One thing I forgot. We have to go back for 5 months. I remember that I was in charge for Carlsen to negotiate the new logistics. I did this, and in the end we had an offer from this company in Stuttgart. It was a good offer, and it's a good company. The better ones and the Random House Bertelsmann we didn't like so much. So we want to go there. And normally they say, how big is your company? If you are really big, you get better conditions. And we discussed about Carlsen, and if it was December, I said, maybe there is another, one more company. It's doubled big like Carlsen, so you have 3 times that we have now discussed. Please tell me how much, how are your conditions? Oh, interesting. Oh, interesting. And they made really good conditions. and we said, let's do this. And this contract is open for more companies to come. But it takes we said we don't have time now to underwrite it and so on, because the Pieper deal was in the background. And then Pieper was bought. And it was...
You could sign.
And then Viktor had this empty contract, no signature on it, and he traveled to Stuttgart to the boss of that company, and he said, "People was signed, but it was not announced officially." In between, Viktor was in Stuttgart, and he said, "Here is the contract. I'm here to sign it." And then he signed it. But please don't sign. I will tell you something. We bought Pieper Verlag, and Pieper Verlag is that big thing which coming. But Pieper Verlag is in your shelves now. You have a contract, and you will lose the good contract for you, and you will sign the bad one. And now,
good story.
And now, please think, discuss, whatever. I go home, and if you are ready to sign, send it to me. Okay. And 2 days later, he got it. Yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Good negotiator.
And yeah, so and at Pieper at that time, we had to cut down around 30% of the people. We did it in a yeah.
It's only 10 in the time of Carson. It was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we always.
But it's completely other side. It was because we were in the not in Hamburg. It was outside. Yeah. It was a completely other situation. Yeah. I had to go to Kiel and say 25 people had to go. That was very tough. Yeah. Sorry. It's not a.
6 months ago, I read in the German papers and in the book market papers that Random House is firing, I think, 80 people. This is maybe 2% of them. It's a huge company. And I didn't understand this. And not whom. This will take time, and not when. So they only say we have to fire. Okay. And I'm really. If I want that the company stands and is doing nothing, people are only on the floors discussing and not working, then I say, please, I will fire one, but if I say who it will be, I will say in 2 months. Then this is so crazy. We never did it in that way. We always find personal solutions that people. It's always hard for them,
But because of that, you should be fair. I mean,
yes,
to be fair, yeah.
on a fair way. And I had some situations that people came a year later on the fair. They came to me and said, "You have fired me last year. You know, it was good for me. It was fair, and for me." I had a new step, and I did something else now, and it's what good for me. But the way you did it, and it's not personal on me. This was something like our values in the company, how to work with these people. And we also had unions in our in Piper Verlag, and the guy who was the boss of these unions, he's a friend of mine now, and he always said, when is it open? I know that you have to do that, but please tell me when the last cut is done. But too many cuts you can't. I'm not able to plan something. We have to cut 25 people, or I look for this part of the company, for that part of the company, and that part of the company. I know here 5, but I will say any word, and here 3. I would say, and in the end I will say, okay, it's 20. No, I start here, and we checked everything what will happen, and then we talked with these people, made a new organization, and then we take the next one. And so it took time. It took more than a year to go through all areas of Piper Verlag, and so was 1 year. It was people were not very sure, and after this year, they saw. Then we announced, now it's over, it's gone, and on the business is going up, and we have hopefully we should hire new people if it's going on, and yeah, this was the time.
It was your first acquisition.
Yeah.
But when I read the list you gave me, between the year of 1996 and 27, you made 12 acquisitions.
Yeah, bigger ones and smaller ones.
But 12, anyway, big or small acquisition takes time and a lot of work with acquisition. That was part of the strategy to make the company bigger, of course. But tell me a little about this list. What's behind it? I mean, you had a strategy to make the Bonnier company in Germany bigger, or was it more coincidence, or what? Yes, tell me a little about your acquisitions.
Well,
you don't have to take them one by one, but I mean, how did it work?
Yeah, but I think we have to look at the situation. The situation was that we have Carlsen Verlag as a children's books publisher, growing, but also in the mid-size, and we have Piper Verlag, and Piper Verlag was also mid-sized, and against us there were 3 groups. The one group is Random House, the second is Heusbrink, and the third was the Strasser group, Ullstein, Heine, List, because Ullstein was, after 10 years, Mr. Fleissner was out, and the companies went back to both owners, and Axel Springer has Ullstein back, and they had no real idea what to do with, and Mr. Strasser, he said, give me money and I will solve it for you. The money was away after a short time, and nothing was solved. But in that time it was a big group because he bought this. And it was clear that we want to develop something bigger, and
the time was good in that time. Many publishers said, well, we are not any longer interested, have an interest to something, we can talk about it and think. It was a time. It was a good time.
Was it buyer's market maybe?
Yeah,
The buyer's market.
Yes, and some pressure on the publishers to go together, because in the years before there were in the 60s, 70s, 80s there were thousands of bookshops in Germany, small bookshops. Maybe some are a lot bigger, and huge publishing houses. So Random House was always a big one, a big publishing house. The biggest companies were the publishing houses. This changed. 2000 starts Amazon in Germany, and 2001, 2002, Amazon was the biggest bookshop in Germany. And then Thalia, the Hugendubel Group, and some others, they built big units
and others
and
also.
The biggest companies
Yeah.
in the industry was not any longer the publishing houses. These were the bookshops, and the small publishing houses. If you, as a small publishing house, have to go to Amazon to discuss the new conditions, this is not a good day for you.
Tough day. Tough day.
Tough day, yeah. And so this pressure was in the market, and on the one side. The other side, the cash cow, at that time it was the pocketbook. And this was the traditional way. A book starts as a hardcover. This is the first, and the pocketbook is the second life of this book. And so the costs are really low, and the pocketbook has better print runs and better sales, and this was the cash cow at that time. The problem for us was always how to get the right and enough titles for the pocketbook. And if you go on the market and ask other publishing houses, they will say, yes, you can have this book as the pocketbook license for this for a short time for a lot of money. And yeah, so you have to arrange with this, and the idea was, can we use smaller publishing houses who have a more or less special name and a special label for some where people think this label is interesting, and I look there in this label to buy these books I love, and the image of that label. And so we bought, and if you look on this list, Malik, Kabel, these are, Malik and Kabel, these are examples where we did this. Malik Verlag was a very small company in Kiel, and we said we will start this label because it has a really good history. We bought it as Neuer Malik Verlag, but in the beginning of 20th century, the Malik Verlag was founded, and it was politically, and it was a big name. And we bought this very, very small company, 3 people with some freelancers around. This was all, and we took it to Munich and integrated it in paper. And we said, we take this Malik name as an imprint of paper, and this Malik Verlag would make reportage. And this was what we want. And then the people bought some rights, which are reportages from different ways. Yeah. And one of the first titles was Into Thin Air by Jon Krakauer. Okay. And I think it was the second program like this. Yeah. And this small Malik Verlag go up, has a bestseller #1. And after that time, you can't bring back Malik Verlag to reportage. It was an adventure
Publisher.
traveling and deep sea and high mountains publishing house. They also had an idea how to make the covers of these Malik books. Every Malik book, I can't describe it. These were some graphic things on it, and you can change it very. It was very flexible, but you always see, oh, this is a Malik book.
You could recognize it immediately.
Yeah, and in the book industry, there were publishers everywhere. Our book should look like Malik books.
Congratulations.
Yeah, this Malik outfit was the absolutely standard there. People love it, and this mega title and everything came together. And this small Malik Verlag, they earned back their purchase price in 2 hours.
Yeah, what you need is that you have people who can do that.
Yeah.
And we were good enough to find it.
Creative people,
Yeah.
open-minded.
Good people
And this-
creating. Yeah.
The lady who has started Malik Verlag, she is in charge these days too.
Okay.
She's older than now, but she is really nice. We met her.
One of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, really good. And
very
always, since a lot of years, engaged, and it's nice to see.
It's good.
Kabel Verlag is a bit different story. Kabel made books, entertainment, romance, fiction on a lower level.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, and we said, oh, for pocketbook, this is really interesting. And so we bought this label for pocketbooks, and for some years we used it, but the label of Pieper changed also. The Kabel label was different from the Pieper label. Pieper was literary and Kabel was entertainment. But Pieper gets more entertaining, and Kabel, nobody remembers Kabel. And after a while, they said, okay, Kabel, there is no book less. It's only label. If you have the Pieper program, for a while you say, our adventure books have the label Malik, and the entertainment books have the label Kabel, and the literary have the label Pieper, and so you work with different labels. And every year there's a discussion, do we need this label, do we not label, or should we need a new label? And there was a discussion that they said, let's skip Kabel. So there is no book less, but it's sorted in other labels. Yeah, that's...
you don't have to take them one by one, but if you don't like your stuff.
Yes, the next we bought in '99, this was Blank Media. Blank is a completely different company. Blank, you know, in Germany we have the fixed price system. And this is not easy if you have books and sell them as a publisher, and maybe you have returns and you get back people's books as a returns from the bookshops. What to do with them? You can't only sell for full price, in the book trade, the bookshops, they don't like if there is a possibility if books are damaged, then you can reduce the price. When you put a special label, this is a damaged book and so on it. But if you send this in the bookshops, that they have the book for low price here and for full price there, they hate it. They don't want it. So you need different channels to do this. This is a company serving these special channels. If a book is completely sold after 5 years, but there is 2 pallets are in stock, and you say, okay, we stop it. The pocketbook is on the run, but the hardcover we should stop now. What to do with these 2 pallets? Same way, they care about it. You have not to take it's damaged. It's another way, but everything is legal in the fixed price system. This company cares about that these books will be sold and more or less disappear, not recognized by the media industry. These are different channels.
For instance, how do they do?
In this Kaufhaus, in the German Kaufhaus, Woolworths and something like this, they have so desk. There are 500 books on it, and every book €4, and you can look this. Oh no, this is. Oh, there is one I take. This is one of their channels, and they have selling and having good connections in really different ways, and have a good sales force and so on. This is the heart of that company. And on the other side, they have a huge stock, and they have people who know this stock. And if you shout in and say, please make a good mixture for the company, they go in and they know where the books are. They know what the customer needs, and all these things. They go in. It's really great working this company. Yeah, that's Blank, and Blank was never really profitable. It was more or less always zero. But Blank is getting to earn a bit more money. They said we want more, so the money stays in the Bonnier Group, but Blank will never be rich. Yeah. So the next one was Niemann Verlag. This was an Ars edition. Sorry, Ars edition.
Ars edition.
Ars edition. This is a local deal. Ars edition is 50 meters from Pieper away. Yeah. So there were 3 publishing houses: DTV and Ars edition and Pieper. These 3 companies on one corner. And DTV now went away, and Ars edition we bought, and in the house of Ars edition, the holding is also inside now. So, but Ars edition, we also looked for children books companies which fit to Carlsen Verlag. Our way was always to look that there are not too many areas where they have the same books. If you have a company which is the competitor of Carlsen with Pixie Books, there is one. There is one competitor. To buy this one, and both of your companies have war against the other. This is that's the Holzbrink way to do it. They say we have completely different companies, and maybe they have war or whatever. the best is the better one will get the money. We always said no, we don't want too much competition between. If you buy a children's books house, there is always a small edge where they have more or less the same books, because every children's books publisher has picture books. And if you buy a children's books publisher without picture books, then something is wrong. So this you have always. But if it's not the heart of these companies, should not tact in the same way. They should be different. And Ars Edition is quite different from Carlsen. Ars Edition is more mass market, sometimes a bit kitschy. Oder wie heißt das auf Englisch?
Kitschy, I think.
Yeah.
Understand that.
And they have a lot of gift books. If you don't have any idea what you find at Ars Edition, you find everything. And they make some sort of games and yeah.
Yeah, it had to be developed, because it was in the old time. It was completely different in the way.
Yeah, they started, as a Catholic.
As a Catholic, I don't know.
with Maria pictures.
Okay. Yeah, and it was completely different. So it developed.
Modernization.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and at that time, as we took over, they had a huge bestseller. This. How was it called?
That was the
I forgot this.
Okay.
But this was over as we got it, and normal times came back, and yes, Ars Edition had always good profits, and they worked in a reasonable way, but. They did not grow like the other companies. Maybe this will change now a bit. I met the new Geschäftsführer of this company, not the publisher, no, the lady I talked to you.
Yeah, I know.
She was in Berlin at Ullstein, and now she is there, and she's good. And I hope she will bring it in the right way. Yeah, the next one was Niemann Verlag. Niemann is the oldest publisher in the portfolio. Niemann was, I don't know, it was founded 1850 or something.
Yeah, it's almost 200 years. No, 150.
Still handwritten books, maybe.
Yeah.
Books.
Yeah.
Ars Edition, Niemann. There's Niemann.
I think
Niemann
it's
was
150 years.
Niemann was 1849.
Okay.
1849. It's the
That's
oldest
impressive.
company, in Germany, I think in Sweden, if you think about a children's books author, there is nobody who said Lindgren. I had never heard. Everybody knows. And the same is in Germany with Ottfried Preußler and Michael Ende. These are the absolute classics. They are old from the 60s and 70s, but bestsellers now, from generation to generation. The mothers had these books as a child, and if they grown up, they buy it for their own children, and so it's from generation to generation, and
they are published by
For
Niemann.
children
Yes.
books, the best one.
Okay.
No, got in a very
Upscale.
yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yes, and they also have different, during the 2000s, they had a time with a girls' book series. They sold millions of that, had a good time. Then it was over. This is also some trends up and down. In the moment, this is going up the last years, and after a long while, this also is something we are looking for the right publisher. After a long while, we had this publisher, the right one. Yeah. Yes. What is
left?
What is left? Why did we buy so much?
Yeah, that was my question, and it's a very long answer, but
okay. Then the Ullstein deal.
Ullstein
came.
is
2003. It was Ullstein. Yeah, the story behind Ullstein is we know Ullstein good.
I think
we are both.
you know everything about it. All right.
And the Ullstein Heine List Group, owned by Springer and managed by Mr. Strasser, it took some time, but in the end they said, sorry, with the checks now is over. And then they fired and because they sold the company.
sell the art.
They want to get rid of this company.
And you bought it.
And they sold it to Random House. And everybody knows, and for everybody it was clear that the Kartellamt will say no. It's too much, and we were really relaxed and said yes, that's good for us. And every month it will not the price will not increase. The pressure will be higher to Random House. In the contract there was Springer gets rid of it, and Random House will care about the rest. And if the Kartellamt says no, Springer will not take it back. So the pressure was on Random House, and in the end we had discussions about it, and we. I think the price was not low, but
Not low.
not bad.
We had reduced it for 1 or 2 millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. That,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
it was 21 or something. 20 or 21? I don't know.
20
I don't know. I think so. Yeah. Whatever.
yes, and yeah, then we signed and were owners of that. The Bonnier were owners of that, and maybe a short story in between that you should know that all our publishing houses, Ars Edition is a wonderful building, Pieper is a wonderful building, Carlsen, we talked about this old, and so everything. This Ullstein Heine List, this was something so bad. Yeah, we never will put in a publishing house in that. And they were together. If you merge companies, it's complicated. If you divide a company in 2 parts, and sometimes if there are only 2 people from the bookkeeping, then is in the middle of the desk there is the cut. You go here and you go there. And to divide a company is really complicated. So that they sit for longer time in this house was not. Oh yeah, this you can't believe. So and then we started Victor and me, we started the discussion what to do with this. Victor said, let's go to Berlin. Let's look in Berlin for a publishing, for a house where they go in, and we move this whole thing to Berlin. Ullstein is Berlin like Brandenburger Tor.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
this is not Munich.
Yeah.
And I said, Victor, do you know what this will cost? And there are 5, 6, 7 arguments not to do it. And then the next day we met, and I said, Victor, I thought about it. Let's go to Berlin. And he said, no, as you said yesterday, this cost, this other, we should not go. And so we we decided to go to Berlin, and Victor, you had some papers there. Maybe you can show. With the house in Berlin. Yes. This is a wonderful building. It's one of the oldest schools in Berlin, the Friedrichstadt Gymnasium. Okay. And it was used through German democratic times as people were swimming there. They put, and the water gets everywhere, so everything was rotten. So it could not be used in the time after the unification, only short time, and they stopped it, and then it was empty. And it was bought by an investor, and this investor was a really good guy. He knows how to do it. This was with Denkmalschutz, and it was not easy to bring this in a standard you need for a company. And he did during 5 months. He has only 5 months time to renovate and put 2 floors on top and to renovate this big house.
A big house, and one of the, wer hat das gemacht hauptsächlich noch? Da war doch noch diese, der
Also Müller-Spreer, der Investor.
Ja, Müller-Spreer, das weiß ich, aber es ist aber gemacht worden, zum Teil mit diesem einen...
Mit dem Architekten?
Architekten, ja.
Ja, Chipperfield. Chipperfield Architects.
You know Chipperfield?
No.
Chipperfield is
it's one of the
international big architects who has in Berlin. They have a bureau there. They are coming from London original, and they have a huge name. And the investor said, if you want this in 5 months,
one of the best in the world.
You must use.
Yeah.
We use the best, one of the best in the world, and if he says in this stair house there is an elevator in, then nobody will say no. Otherwise, and so they were, and this. He has a bureau who as a consultant, they make this chief of building there, who is sitting there, and then he showed me this is the boss of this building then, and it was a young lady, blonde, nice, wonderful. Will she do this? A month later, I saw her with 5 people who break down everything. People with arms like this, whatever, like school boys sitting there, and she said, "Not this way with me." She was great, and she was one of the parts that it works in 5 months. It was absolutely perfect.
Oh, it's a nice story.
It was great.
Congratulations again. We changed subject for a while, because when I hear about your company, there is always one story that appears, and it's a Harry Potter story. And I would like you to comment a little on that. What happened with Harry Potter?
Okay, Harry Potter. I think at that time Klaus Humann was publisher at Carlsen.
And what time are we talking about? What year are we talking about?
Viktor left at Carlsen 86. No, we started Carlsen at end of 94. And yeah, end of 94, 1st of January 95, you went to Ulstein, to Pieper in Munich. And then
there was another short time,
1 year or something like that.
Somebody else.
And then it was Klaus Humann, so it must be 96, 97. Klaus Humann, he came from Fischer and Company, and he never, as a publisher, it's what's business and what's private. He has very, very good connections to different publishers in the world, and he also has to these guys who are dealing with the Harry Potter original manuscript. He heard about it, and he maybe he read, I don't know, he read something, but he was really interested. But it was not on the market, there was nothing to buy, and you hear the stories, what J.K. Rowling with her British publishing house, it was on and off and whatever. And during that time, Klaus Humann always had the hand on the pulse, and when it comes, he was, I think, the first one and said, "I want it," and he bought it for children's book. It was a more or less high price. We can say 30,000 marks. 30,000 he bought. This was a lot of money. And then they started with a 98 with the first Harry Potter book, and it was very German with a German cover. So the first up to 4, I think, and then the film. The American film things made everything different. All Harry Potters in the world should look in the same way and like this, and this was all. But the first one was by a German printer, illustrator. It was made, and they put it on the market, and they were really risky. They made 8,000 as a first print run. And nobody knows J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter. Nobody knows. There were a lot of books of this genre. This is not the first one, but they did it, and the first print run was. In the beginning, it took some time, but I think they made it in late summer and autumn, and at Christmas time or below after Christmas time, it was sold, and they need a new one, and so it's step by step. At that time, books were made in offset. And in the printing plants, and so you need films. And normally you have only one set of these films. And to make these films, it costs a lot of money. After a while, if from the 20,000 it goes up to 50, and then 100, and 200, and then 500,000, then the problems start that you need more books than you can print, but as
It's a wonderful problem.
yeah, this is
But
a
you need
problem.
more films.
And the problem you phone your printers is do you have enough paper to print it? And so but the idea to make a second set of these films that you can use it at 2 or 3 printers. This took the time because it has happened never before. So, but all these problems could be solved, and for Carlsen it was a really complicated time at the because also if the sales force comes in a bookshop to sell the program, normally it's that the sales force said, you have 20, take 50. You need it. It's good. Now it has changed. They ask, how much can I get? No, sorry, no, not 500, only 200 for you. So this was a really complicated time for them. But these form of problems were solved, and Carlsen earned a lot of money at that time. Not only Carlsen, from the logistics,
Everyone involved.
everyone was
Because it's such a
involved.
More or less
Big,
everyone.
Everybody was involved, earned money, and everybody was lucky. And yeah, but one time there were also problems coming up as I think it was the 3rd book. As the internet was common at that time, and there were young people, they organized that you start with the first chapter, you the second, and you the third chapter, and if we have 25 people together, then we have the translation for the whole book.
Yeah.
And forget Carlsen, we don't need them. So how to bring these people together on the right way. These are children. How to, as a children book publisher with a big stock on this could not be. So only they can.
one should be nice to children.
Only the first chapter can be translated, and we have a competition, and the best one will win whatever, a meeting with J.K. Rowling or something like this. And then it was over. These problems came up, and they have to manage it, and they managed it in a really, really good way. And yes, it was, and it was Klaus Humann who found this book and who had the connections over years to get this book. And he also had a connection to J.K. Rowling until she disappeared in this
Other word.
yeah, in this new world. Yeah. And over the years, I think the fourth edition was that one when the Americans had the idea to put a really big campaign on it, and this came over to Germany or to Europe in total, and number 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3 doubled if number 4 came, and this was always if a new Harry Potter number 5 comes, then there are every year there are new young people getting in the right age, and then it's number 5, and number 5, I have to start with 1. I will buy 1, 2, 3, 4, and number 5 is a gift from daddy or whatever. So, and
It's a never-ending story.
Never-ending story.
Story.
Yeah. Like Niemann.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Yeah.
We are almost ready with our talk, but before we stop and it ends, it would be interesting to hear a little how it is to work with the Bonnier Group in your company? What is the ups and downs with the cooperation within the Bonnier Group and your company?
Yes, you ask for the Bonnier family.
Yes.
And
And the cooperation between you and Germany.
First, I think I would explain how the Germans recognize the Bonnier name. I think in Sweden everybody knows the Bonnier. In Germany, it's more or less nobody knows the Germans. We were asked, and in the industry sometimes there is said, yes, this Piper Verlag, and people know mostly our publishing houses. These are and then it's said, yes, and behind there is a family, this is the Bonnier family. And we were asked, and how is this Bonnier family? We never told them that here is a book industry and headquarters and something like that. We're always told about a family. Yeah. And you know, we have in Germany since years really nice stories, love stories and whatever. Everything is in Sweden.
And the German picture of Sweden, so to speak.
The German picture of Sweden, and Sweden is always sunny. There is, wherever you look, there is a lake, and there is a red house, and there is a wonderful garden with a nice family sitting in this garden in the sun. And if they ask for the Bonnier family, we did not say in that way, but we should then believe what they want.
It's a Swedish family.
And we said, yes, it's a really nice Swedish family. Yeah. And if they ask, and this is interested for them, how can we trust them? And if we say, oh, it's 200 years, it's 8 generations, then okay, we understand. Everybody knows, but you should not mention how many people, and then that there is a headquarters and something like that. Only talk about the family, and yes, that's how the Bonnier family is recognized in Germany. And what we recognize, or what we work with, these are only a few family members.
For instance,
Karl Johan, always, and Albert was for years in our board. And Karl Otto always was, if we need a German Bonnier speaker, he did it in a really nice way, and people always were impressed that the Bonnier family came to Germany, and he speaks German. Yeah, yeah, I have in the boards. I met some other families like Nisse and so on. I only met nice people. I heard about the critics about Jonas Bonnier, what business in America, whatever. I could say for the Germans, Bonnier,
was a good time.
Jonas was really good. He was motivating. Yeah. He knows what we are doing, but he let us do, and he was inspiring, and it was a good time. And he took the right decisions. For the German, it was fine. About America, I wouldn't say anything. That's clear. Yes. So have I forgot one of the families? So it would be.
No. I don't think so.
I can't answer on that, but
yeah, it's
to me it sounds okay.
Yeah, there's Eva and others.
Yeah, we met, but they were not part of that business.
Behind.
No.
Yeah.
And from the beginning, it was Per-Olof Atle who was the first.
Yes, so the management was.
The management is different. Yeah.
The management from the beginning was Per-Olof Atle, who was our boss, who was leader of the book department.
Who said that this is a long-term project.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
I'm quoting you, but
This story I told yesterday to the other guys that it was not easy to bring people back in black figures. We did a lot in the first year, and we talked about this white program and cuts and so on. But we had also we were the big lucky guys at Piper who had in the first autumn of Piper, the first half year was really hard, and then the autumn came, and Gabi Hauptmann had a huge bestseller, which now it's so small it will not change a whole company. At that time, Piper was small, and it changed a whole company. We never forgot Gabi Hauptmann. And yesterday evening, I read the latest book of her. It's 2 or 3 days old. She's also writing for Piper, and we now know her very well. And she was visiting us, and she is a really nice person. And yeah, she brings us to black figures in the first year. And Viktor and me proudly present. We go to Stockholm and present Per Olof, the first black figure of Piper. And he said, I don't want that. I want you to develop a long-term good company, not these short-term things. Okay. And this was this was really a good learning for us and everybody who asked and how are these Bonniers thinking at that time. Some years later it was a bit different, let's say. At that time I told them in a short version this story. That they are thinking on the long term. They want long-term success, and I remember also that we were in Berlin at this really big family meeting at Ullstein, and there was an evening meeting wherever in a restaurant. And I sat close to Karl Johan, and this was 2007, and at Ullstein is going up, but not in that fast way like it was at Piper in turnover. Maybe in profit, yes. But not in turnover, and Karl Johan said to me, "Do you know how long the Bertelsmanns take that the American activities are in black figures?" And that this was 30 years, and we have this time too. Be patient, work on it, and you will solve that. So this was the second time I heard this, and this was 10 years later. It was, and this is family thinking, and this is something. If you the Random House Bertelsmann this is modern management, let's say, and especially as an author or an employee or something, you are interested on long-term connections. And if you know there's a family behind and they have values, they are working for decades. This is something different as that you work in a company who has quarterly reports and reactions on these reports. So for us, it's for Viktor and me and for a lot of people in the management, it's nice to work with Bonnier, with this family, and behind this, all the stuff working for Bonnier, this is, they love it, that they don't have daily contact with the family, but they love it in the background that they have this security. Yes, that's
it. Hartmut and Viktor,
Yeah.
thank you for a very nice discussion.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Nice. Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
for
much.
the invitation and
Thank you
the
very much.
really nice treatment.
It was very
and for
interesting
yesterday in
to
the evening. Thank you.
hear your expression when you was talking about your yesterday evening about
Yeah.
the
We had a good time.
success and everything. So that was nice.